Everybody has a problem.
She's a happy, loving soul, and she has a big heart.
She's truly one of the strongest people that I know.
This is her problem. Her problem is her disability. She started going to respiratory distress, and we were constantly calling ambulances, and it got out of hand.
We knew it was a possibility because her brother was already diagnosed, so we were always watching her to see her milestones and see what was happening. We knew that she was weaker than we expected. We knew she was having problems.
She was less than a year old, and I was feeding her. I think we started her on cereal, and it was too thick for her to swallow.
We'd gone in to see Juliana. We heard some noises, and then Beth went in there, and then she came out and she said that Juliana was blue.
She was just choking and spitting up.
And she brought her down, and we tried suctioning her with the ball, but we really weren't getting anything out. So we had a nurse who lived 2 houses down, so I just ran.
James sprinted to her house. She ran down the road with him, and she started CPR.
What I was thinking was, I can't believe that our baby is dead. I mean, she was blue, she wasn't moving, there was really nothing that we could do.
I just stood there. She looked up at James, and she just said, I can't handle this on my own. She kept suctioning her and doing CPR. And by the time the ambulance got there, they suctioned her with the machine, and she started clearing up.
She totally brought her back. Like, we were at the point where Juliana wasn't breathing, and we weren't able to get her breathing.
Nana, that we lovingly call her, said, oh, you should go to the Mayo Clinic. I found a doctor. James's cousin Diane worked in one of the administrative offices at Maimonides. So I really didn't talk to her that much, but out of desperation, I called her and I said, I can't get in with this guy, and he's an expert, and I need to see him ASAP. Like, I need to get there. I need to get her there. I think she's going to die on me. Diane said, well, I really don't have much pull, but I know some people in the neurology office, so I'll call. And then within a week, I got a call on a Monday. They called me at work and they said, can you be here Wednesday? And he saw the kids and he said, I can tell you right now that I think she has congenital myasthenia.
I have congenital myasthenia. It's a syndrome, congenital myasthenic syndrome, technically, but I just call it CMS.
Congenital myasthenia or congenital myasthenia syndrome is a problem at the neuromuscular junction, which is where the nerve cells and the muscle cells connect.
It's a neuromuscular disease that causes weakness throughout my entire body, so from my eyelids down to my toes.
It's congenital, which means James has what I call a bad gene, and I have a bad gene, and they're different. So what happens is when we got pregnant, he passed his bad gene, and I passed my bad gene to Juliana.
So with congenital myasthenia, the signal isn't going from the nerves to the muscles properly. So in Juliana's mind, she's telling her body to pick up her arm, but the signal doesn't go. So like to me, I lift my arm up like this, but she may put the same effort in and it may only go up like about this.
It is very frustrating because it literally varies minute by minute. One minute I could be feeling great, and then next minute I could start to feel weak. My body starts to feel kind of heavy. It gets kind of hard to open my eyelids, to raise my hands, to talk, to chew. When I'm at my worst, when I'm weak, I can't hold my neck up. I can't sit up straight.
We're here. be mad either. You can't control this. Don't be mad, because then you're going to be upset. It's going to be harder to breathe.
Do you want to? But we were told that they may be able to tell us something else at the Mayo Clinic, but we didn't know exactly what. Once we were able to get to the Mayo Clinic, and then we found out there was a medication.
That's when they said, well, Eric is a great candidate for this trial, but Juliana is not, because her EMG came back abnormal.
They didn't want to give Juliana the medicine.
I said, well, just can't we try it anyway? She has the possibility of having a seizure on this medication. They said, well, let's try her on the 3,4-DAP and check on her brain waves once she's on the medication to make sure that she doesn't have seizures.
They gave us the medicine and it changed everything for us. She'd never walked upstairs before. It was just amazing. The whole day was amazing because, she'd taken the medicine and she had never run around the way she could. The day before when we'd been to the pool, I had to pick her up and carry her up the stairs to the slide and everything. And once she had this medicine, she wouldn't let me do any of that. She would insist on climbing up the stairs herself and going down the slide and swimming. And
oh my goodness.
Some people with my disease do take it around the clock, but every 4 hours I take something called Mestinon. I take something called albuterol in a liquid form. I don't really know what it does, but somehow it makes my muscles feel a lot stronger. And I'm on a clinical trial drug called 3,4-DAP. All together, they just help my muscles fire the right way. Mornings and nights are my weakest times generally. In the morning, I haven't taken my medicine in about 7 hours usually. Both of my parents and Brandon specifically put their hand under my neck and then they pull me up with both of their hands and both of my hands so that when I'm sitting up to take my medication, my neck doesn't flop back and then I'm getting support while they're sitting me up.
do you want anything else? Nothing to eat? You want to come with me or are you staying here? Surprise me. When she would wake up in the morning, or I would wake her up in the morning for school, I would have to basically sit her up in bed, put the medicine into her mouth, hold the cup so she could drink from it. Then we would have to wait until she was a little bit stronger and then either carry her to the bathroom or help her maneuver to the bathroom and then dress her and then, get ready for breakfast and all that, the typical routine. And this went on for years. I mean, even through high school, when she was in high school, I would still have to come in the morning, sit her up, give her medicine, and then within an hour or so she'd be able to be getting to school.
There's a lot of daily tasks that she can't do and that she really needs help with, which is why she has her aide. Doing laundry, folding laundry, going shopping. That's all stuff that she needs someone to be with her. It's hard to tell how her muscles will affect her.
Now that I'm 20 years old, I'm pretty much independent. They kind of know to ask me if I need anything. I don't always need help when it kind of looks like I do, because sometimes when you see someone with a disability, it kind of looks like they need help, but that's not always the case. I kind of like to do things on my own. So it's really situational.
I really didn't fully grasp her dispositions and her ability. I mean, I knew she was in the power chair. You can read her disability, and you could even see some of it, but you really don't know a person inside and what they struggle with.
I have good days and bad days with my disease. On a good day, my medicine works really well. I could go all day long, pretty much all day long. But on my good day, I can go pretty much from morning to night with some breaks, some resting time. It's hard to plan out when I can hang out with my friends, when I can get my schoolwork done, when I can rest, when I can shower, even when I can eat sometimes. That gets hard. I can have plans all day, but sometimes if my weakness is worse at certain times of the day, that can be really challenging and it can get in the way of my plans, and that really, it bothers me a lot when I have to live my life around my weakness.
there's so much that she hasn't been able to do that other people have been able to do. Well, she never went to parties in high school, and one time she did attempt to go to a party at a friend's house, and she called us up, and I'll just never forget this. She called us up and she said, "Can you come pick me up from the party?" And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because I can't follow my friends around the rooms." You know how high school parties are. You want to jump from room to room. It was nice weather. People were going outside. And she said, "I'm sitting here on the couch by myself because, you know, my friends would sit with me for a little bit, but then they would take off and they would go outside, or they're going into other rooms, and I can't follow them around." I cried the whole way there going to pick her up. She couldn't ever have that experience.
That's really definitely tough on her. It's not just, the daily struggles of going through this muscular disease, it's also the mental struggles as well.
Part of what my disability that I have, there are times when I can walk, short distances. At physical therapy, I walk on the treadmill for about 8 minutes. There are times when I'm not in my wheelchair, or I look kind of normal. Strangers or adults that I don't know will yell at me for parking in handicap spots. They'll make comments, "Oh, I thought you were disabled. I thought you can't walk. I thought you're in a wheelchair."
She can walk from the handicap spot into the store if she's feeling strong. People would accuse her of faking.
One time this guy actually spit on her car when she got back in because they assume that she's not handicapped.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Sometimes people in wheelchairs can also walk, and not a lot of strangers or people who don't know me understand that.
I tell her all the time that I would not be able to be in her shoes. The way that she holds it all together and keeps her head high. She still has a fun time. She doesn't let it get in her way. I mean, sometimes it does, but, she tries her best to make sure that she's still living a great life, does what she wants to do. That's the inspiring thing.
I have amazing, amazing friends. I always have. Anywhere I go, like at school, like elementary school, middle school, high school. Now I'm in college, I had to make new friends. I've always just been able to find supportive, understanding friends. They are so good at raising my spirits if I'm feeling down. If we go out, if we go to parties, if we go anywhere in public, they're really good at keeping an eye on me. Like, not that they have to watch me, but they're just really good at being there for me and knowing if I need help, not leaving me by myself, not putting me in any uncomfortable situations. We all just make fun of each other and joke around, and it's a ton of fun.
One thing that we've learned is that the future is so hard to say what's going to happen. With disease like CMS, it's so variable. I would project that in a very positive way that things are going to just keep getting better, even though I'm always preparing for the worst. She's made incredible strides since going to college. She's become so independent. I'm just so proud of her. She's done so much, and she's come so far.
She's actually one of the smartest people I've ever met.
She's smart, she's beautiful, she's kind, she's everything perfect in this world.
It's not what we want, it's what that person is going through. And maybe Julie's mission is to help people who are handicapped and to bring that awareness to them.
To me, that's what the future is going to be for her. She's going to do whatever she wants to do. And, if she needs breaks while she's doing it, if she needs people to help her, she'll get that. Before she went to college, I never thought that she would actually be able to live alone, live away from home. I was always prepared for her to live with us for the rest of her life if necessary, and I still am if necessary. But I don't think we need that anymore. They told me that Eric wouldn't live to be 10, and Juliana probably too. Now she's 20, he's 25, and there's no end in sight, so I couldn't be happier.
Well, disability is so different for everyone. It could be cognitive, it could be physical. For me, I kind of like to take it and embrace it as my identity. I am a person with a disability. That's just who I am. That's how it's always been, and that's everything I've ever known. We like to call ourselves the myasthenia warriors because living with this disease, you really have to be a warrior every single day.